Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. And welcome to the introduction of SBRL, obviously Switchback Racing League. We have finally now launched for SBRL. I am a little bit behind on SBRL, obviously, because I've been away recovering from mental health issues. But I'm back. So we're here for SBRL here in China, and then next week, probably on Monday, maybe Tuesday, something like that, or like someday next week, I'll then catch up and I'll get back with SBRL round number 2. But we're here for the Chinese Grand Prix for round number 1. And this is going to be a very, very interesting round for myself. Obviously, the first time that I've ever done a league race. So I was really looking forward to it. I was really excited, actually. And I couldn't wait to get started. So as you can see, then we're on board with my first lap here for the Chinese Grand Prix. And heading down into the hairpin. Now you can see it on the ultra soft tyres. I'm not going to start on the ultra soft tyres. This was basically just a banker lap. Have a little feel for the track. Make sure that the setup felt okay. And then I was obviously going to swap out later on. So as you can see here, I've dropped it down into second gear. And I ain't trying. Like, I'm just going to, slowly pass it towards the line. Let the time go by. And go from there. This is also going to be very interesting. So, of course, everyone that's in this division, obviously this is Division 1. It's going to be interesting because I don't know who's fast, who's not, how quick I am, or how slow I could be. So it's very interesting. But here then, it's going to be my actual lap, and it didn't start very well because I went extremely wide on the last corner. So here's my actual flying lap. This is the best I could achieve. Obviously, it was very difficult because, of course, we're doing what's basically a one-shot qualifying. Because, of course, we're on the soft tyres, and we've only got one set for quali. So I've got to make it all count. But I just can't get distracted because my delta is going to be a long way off the pace initially as the back end slides out there. And I didn't quite get the tyres warmed up properly for this bit. So you can see now I'm dropping the ERS just a little bit there. But you can already see that we're over a second down on our best time so far. But of course, like I said, we are not concentrating on that. Our concentration is going to be obviously in the final section. Of course, as we're on the soft tyres, obviously the ultra soft tyres would have given us so much more grip than they would otherwise. So yeah, but as you can see so far, we're currently bottom of the standings, so we really do need to set a lap time, otherwise we are going to be starting last in this Grand Prix, which is not going to be ideal for us. As we now go towards middle sector split here again, the lap just didn't really pay off for me. It wasn't really working. I just couldn't quite get on the power enough. I was really struggling. Like here, for example, I've gone horribly wide understeer in the car, and it just floated all the way through the banking corner. I just overall, it was a really poor lap for myself. I really didn't hook it up to gear very nicely, and I just wasn't that happy with it. And through this straight, I should have gone into overtake mode on the ERS, but I stuck it in hot lap, and I didn't really realise at that point. Again, like I broke too early initially, then I tried to carry some speed, and I tried to gain it back, etc. Like I'm already 2 seconds down on my best lap time, so this really hasn't turned out to be a good lap as I, well, fly it wide on the last corner. Obviously, we gain all the time back up because, of course, we were there. And it sticks us into P4, so 2.1 seconds off the pace. We're on the slower tyres, though. And overall, I knew I was in for a tough race because, as you can see, then Protominator is on pole position ahead of Golden Fast. Now, Golden Fast was on the soft tyres, and he was only a 10th off pole. So, in theory, I'm 2 seconds behind Golden Fast in terms of race pace around qualifying pace here at China with a couple of drivers that didn't actually set a lap. But for the race then, it's going to be the one-stop strategy. I want to go for the soft tyres and then transfer over to some medium tyres for the next stage of the Grand Prix. That's the aim, and that's what I want to do. So without further ado then, we're going to get ready to go then. We've got 4, now 5 red lights for the introduction of Switchback Racing League, and it's lights out. Where we go here for the good start then. Initially there, getting a good, decent actual getaway there. And now we're alongside Big Abdullah, my teammate, as we've got Starlight Glimmer there on the back of myself as well. But in towards turn 1, I'm just going to take it nice and cautious here. I don't want to cause any form of collisions as my teammate there, Abdullah, goes into the back of Golden Fast. We're going to have to take avoiding action here, and we've been hit by Golden Fast, but of course, we've taken no damage there. As you can see, all the cars now going around myself here, as Hayden sort of breaks to avoid contact, and unfortunately, I've got into the back of Hayden, lost a bit of my end plate there, and I've taken damage early on in this Grand Prix. An awful start for myself. It couldn't have been any worse there as Irish Gamer now gets involved. So a lot of drivers already just, well, not knowing what the brakes are on their car. I mean, I hit the back of Hayden, so, I can't really complain. As you can see now through the middle sector here, absolutely no grip whatsoever, of course, with that damage to the front wing. Now just trying to get the car back and not take any other further damage. You can see I've got Robin there in front of me, who I don't really know if he's got damage or not. I don't think he does, but I back out of it here. And Golden Fast already really sort of just blasting towards me, so straight away I wasn't going to fight him. So as you can see, going in towards here, I sort of just ran a little bit wide, and then as soon as I sort of like transpired, I thought he was going to make the overtake done, but he just did the switchback instead, haha, just like the league. I sort of went around the outside. I sort of tried to fight it a little bit, but I sort of backed off. I don't think he has any damage, but I'm coming at the end of this lap. Also, then I've got Chips there behind me on the straight here, but it doesn't look like he's got any damage to his front wing. So again, I'm not putting the car in any form of high modes. Like Golden Fast is going straight for it up ahead though on Robin, so he's going to try and go for it. I decided to let Chips through here. Not going to fight him, just going to let him through. And obviously, if he comes to the pits, that's a bit awkward. But if he doesn't, that's fine. As Protominator sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he managed to get away from unscathed, and he built a massive advantage. You can see on the mini-map there, he's already going through halfway through turn 1, whereas the rest are only just exiting the DRS zone. So he has a huge lead to start this Grand Prix off, and on the ultra soft tyres, that's what he needs. And with all of us trying to come in for a new set of tyres, he's pretty much already done what he needed to do early on. So some great stuff from him there. So we now get a front wing change. Also, we're going to strap on some medium tyres, and we're going to go nice and long with the Grand Prix now. And we'll obviously have to make another stop. I'm not going to go to the end on these tyres. That was never the plan. I'm going to go as far as I possibly can, and then strap on either a set of the ultra soft tyres or the soft tyres, depending obviously on the lifetime that these medium tyres will give me. So obviously, I just need to be careful on that front. But I do need to get used to them as well, because obviously on the slowest tyre compound on heavy fuels, so the car is not going to feel nice. And it really didn't, as Robin there pits for a fresh set of soft tyres, whereas Golden Fast has gone the same way as me and has gone for a set of medium tyres. But my fight is not with Golden Fast, as I just don't believe I've got the pace. As you can see there, look on lap 4, the tyres just are not working at this point. I was actually talking during this Grand Prix, and I was just complaining constantly about the car. It just felt awful for myself here. I've got Irish Gamer, who's on soft tyres, coming up behind me as well, as Golden Fast makes a move now on Robin there, as we now go in towards the hairpin here. And Irish Gamer has actually outbroken himself here, and he's actually driven straight into the back of my car, and I think he's taken some damage. He has done on his end plate there. So Irish Gamer, I did sort of leave a little bit of room, but I knew he was way too far back for an overtake, so I think he tried to go for a late braking move, and as I was then turning in to close the door, it's one of those things where, like, the AIs, when you make a late brake like that, you sort of get phased. But in this situation here, I wasn't. As you can see now, as you can see there, Big Reese has gone for a spin. You can see that we've got the camera at the top there. So on the straight, when there's those yellow flags, it's Big Reese has made contact with one of the Toro Rossos, and that's put him down the order now. And obviously, he's dropped him into 6th place here. And well, that's going to give me a free position, because he surely has got to pit for a new front wing. There's no chance he's going to be able to continue with that amount of damage. We've got Starlight Glimmer, who's 22 seconds back, so he's obviously had to make another pit stop in there. But you can see that the advantage that the likes of Golden Fast has got compared to myself, like, he's literally right behind his teammate now in towards turn 1, and he's literally got the whole pitch straight for it. Look at the grip that I've got. I've got absolutely nothing there. So yeah, Big Reese goes and heads into the pits. He's going to have to change his front wing and strap on probably a set of mediums, I would have thought, or something like that. But on to lap 12 of the Grand Prix now. We're starting to get involved with the front runners a little bit, but not for position. You can see here it is Chips. He's made his first stop of the Grand Prix. Now, interestingly, Chips is actually doing an alternate strategy here. Now, he started on soft tyres, so he's just come in for another set of soft tyres, which means he's actually doing the reverse, soft, soft, ultra soft, rather than ultra soft and then 2 sets of soft. So, interesting choice there from Chips. But we continue onwards down to lap 14 of the Grand Prix. We're going pretty far in this Grand Prix on this set of tyres. Pretty much done half the race on them so far. And Hayden, who was out in the front, is now in front of us, as you can see once again. Really not liking these tyres. I really just did not work with the mediums in this Grand Prix at all. But I just need to continue using them and just keep dragging the lifetime out. However, it wasn't just me that was struggling. Hayden also seemed to be struggling on his medium tyres. As we go now to lap 15 of the Grand Prix, you can see that the gap between myself and Hayden was around about 2.5 seconds when he pitted. I managed to close that all down though against Hayden, and Chips has pulled away the distance as Robin there is out of the Chinese Grand Prix, and that's actually quite a big one there, because that means now that he's not going to be in front of me when it comes to exiting the pit, so and I have to stop again. But as you can see now, onto the back of Hayden here. I'm not going to fight Hayden. I'm just going to let him through. Sorry, not let him through. I'm going to tag along with Hayden. Now, he's on fresh tyres, fresh mediums, whereas I'm not, obviously. So I'm on an old set of mediums. Hayden's on for a new set. So my plan is, if Hayden has got some pace in the middle corners of the lap, so e.g. sectors 1 and 2, I will then use the slipstream in the DRS to pass him then. So that's kind of what I was looking for and what I was intending. And as you can see again, lap 17 of the Grand Prix, I'm still on the back of Hayden. I'm definitely losing time in the middle sector, but I'm just able to just use overtake modes and ERS and rich mixture as well just to stick with him, and it's absolutely really working a treat for myself. It's actually bringing me back into play. As you can see, my tyres now getting very worn here. This was a stage where I decided enough was enough. I actually felt that I had more pace than Hayden, and as you can see that I go for an easy move now on Hayden, and we go down the inside, and we make the move stick. Hayden tries to come back at me, but I just wasn't having it. At this stage, I'd sort of been behind him now for about 3-4 laps, and I generally felt like I was just having I was all of a sudden just getting some pace in the car. It was working nicely for me, and now I'm going to continue onwards and try and extend my advantage here, as the gap now between myself and Golden Fast is, well, it's nothing now, because he's just stopped for a set of soft tyres. So he's made his final stop at the Grand Prix, and he's rejoined one literally just behind us. So you can see how fast he was in this Grand Prix, and he was not someone that I was looking to try and compete with in this Grand Prix, as we now swap to the stream camera. So obviously these SBRL races are live streamed, as Hayden here actually goes past myself, and I decided to let him through again. I saw how much immense traction he had out of the corner, and I'm like, why don't I just let him pass in a zone where he's going to be quicker and just keep dragging myself along, and it just seems to be working. I was really comfortable with what was going on, so I was just going to keep doing that. But obviously SBRL is streamed on the SBRL YouTube channel, which I'll obviously link, as you can see, from this perspective, it obviously gives us an opportunity in these videos that I make to have some different perspectives. But as you can see, looking at the tyre lap count, you can see there, look, Chips has done 6 laps on softs, Hayden's done 4 laps on his mediums, I've done 16 laps on my medium tyres already at this stage of the race. So my tyres are much, much older than everybody else's, and you can see there, look at that, I'm 7 tenths down on Hayden at this stage, and Golden Fast now is right behind me. And Golden Fast, I wasn't even actually attempting to do anything in terms of fighting. As you can see here, I went towards the inside line, which looked a bit defensive, but I eventually just thought, actually, let me just give him the inside line. Now, box myself in on purpose. Golden Fast goes for a dive there on Hayden. We sort of, well, we get a 5-second stop-go penalty for exceeding track limits. Thank you very much, game. I really, you know, thank you. I love that. I literally got phased, went as slow as possible. Obviously, I cut the corner, which is fair. But a 5-second stop-go penalty, like a lot of people I've seen on Twitter and stuff when they've been doing league races, they complain about track limits. Now I know what that feels like, because that's just really stupid. But luckily, obviously, in SBRL, stuff like this we can appeal for, and we will have a look, and we will actually remove those, because that's what we do. So that's for the future. Like, if anyone has like a stupid corner cutting penalty and they want it reviewed, like, we can just remove that penalty. Like, even though you're classified as 4th, we'll just take away 3 seconds or 5 seconds, or even if it's like the one in Russia where it's 10 seconds, we'll just get rid of it, and that's how it works. On to lap 19 now, and on to lap 20 now. We are on a fresh set of soft tyres, and straight away, my car was working an absolute treat. I was loving it. I was literally relishing this car, and as you can see, it's across the line with a 134.4, fastest lap of the race so far, catching up to Justice line now. 2.4 seconds between myself and Justice now, and onto the further on to lap 21, we've gained 7 seconds in just 2 laps here on Justice line. He is struggling on medium tyres, and now it is time for us to attack on Justice line now as we get the power down here. As you can see, back end slides a little bit. Justice actually got a better run out of that banking corner, so good stuff from Justice there. But we've got Rich Mix and Overtake to use at our disposal, plus the slipstream, plus the DRS. As you can see now, catching up to Justice line. He's not actually putting up that much of a fight here, so he goes towards the outside there. We go through, but unfortunately, I've broken too late, gone deep, dropped it into neutral to try and stop the car, but it's not worked, unfortunately. We've had to sort of lift off and unfortunately get the place back to Justice there, and that was clumsy for myself. I had the move done. I should have just broken a little bit earlier, covered the inside line, and just got away with it, but I now have to stay behind him for another lap, and that wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I had to do it nonetheless. But this time here, you can see we actually get a much better run through this banking corner this time around, a little bit closer to Justice line than we are on the last time, and now we've got Rich Mix and Overtake mode to our disposal, and once again, Overtake mode and DRS at our disposal. This time he goes to the inside line. I'm going to go to the outside line this time and make my move stick. This time I brake a little bit earlier, but for some reason it still doesn't pay off. I still run wide in that corner, and for some reason I just couldn't stop the car. And at this point I was actually getting a little bit frustrated, so I kind of just rejoined back onto the track, and I just cemented the position, and I just sort of powered along then. I was a bit like getting a bit agitated. I just wanted to get the job done, so I just went for it basically, and I just went around and passed him. But as you can see now, on to lap 25 of the Grand Prix, we're now closing up to the back of Chips here. We just had a yellow flag zone come up, so Chips has had some sort of an issue there. The gap is now 7.4 seconds, only 2 laps to go, so we're not really going to be in contention to beat Chips in this race, but he has had a yellow flag, so he might have had just a bit of a spin there. And you can see, look at that. Compared to myself and Justice Lime there, already 7.4 seconds now between myself and him. So we have managed to pull away from Justice Lime in that sense. So we've managed to get the gap out to him. But yeah, I don't know what's happened to Chips, but we seem to be closing him at a vast rate of knots. So you can actually see him on screen there. Gap's 3.9 now, so he's probably actually had some sort of a problem. So we're going to keep pushing onwards and try our best to see if we can close him down, pull that gap even close to ourselves. And look at that, he clearly has got some form of an issue now as we go in towards the high-speed corners here. He blocks the outside, does some very car parky style defending here. We now try and go around the outside, but I pressed the wrong buttons, and that was not what I needed to do. It's a red front wing. It is damaged there. That was clumsy, and that's all my fault. Straight away, 100%. I got flustered by him being there. I went to the outside. I pressed the throttle way too hard, and I should have been a bit more patient. And obviously, I was going to get the move anyway. But as you can see, clearly that Chips has got much more damage than I do. I still got a red end plate, but I'm eligible to manage it. At this stage, I was now managing the red end plate. I go past Chips here, back up into third place now in this Grand Prix, and we're on the podium so far, but obviously we have still got to try and drag this thing to the end. Justice Lime is only 3.5 seconds back, and he could be in contention. Now, this is what happened to Chips. This is why he struggled so badly. So he's battling Hayden here for second place. DRS gets the move done. Hayden with a lovely switchback maneuver there to get himself onto the inside line into the hairpin. Old medium tyres versus fresher ultra soft tyres is no match there at all. In towards the last corner though, just a little bit of contact there, and it just sends Chips into the barrier. Now, I did review this, and it was a complete lag connection problem. Hayden, barely didn't even touch him on the screen. It was a netcode issue, which is really frustrating for Chips. So he actually went ahead and damaged both of his front wing end plates. Probably had like a red and an orange. And as you can see there, look, he's got a red front wing end plate and an orange one for sure there. So he already had a lot more damage than I did. Than I did, which is exactly why he is struggling, and that's the reason for that. So that's how Chips and everything had a bit of a problem. Lap 28 of the Grand Prix now. Golden Fast has won the first race of SBRL. Hayden has come across the line to finish in second place, whereas for myself, just managing it at this point, going really slowly here. Justice Live now all over the back of me, but I just knew, you can see there, the traction that I have compared to Justice was so much better. Nice and gentle through the final corner here, and now put the power down towards the start-finish line. We are going to grab a podium in our first ever Switchback Racing League race, which I was really, really happy with in the end. You know, I didn't have the pace around China. It's not a track that I tend to have pace around in the first place. And I was really satisfied to pick up such a great podium for myself. That was what I was mostly looking at, and obviously it's been a great result there. As you can see, Chips unfortunately finishes down in P5 thanks to all of that, which is a bit of a shame there. But as you can see then, Golden Fast on the podium ahead of Hayden, ahead of myself, and it's going to be interesting to see what goes on in the season, because today Golden Fast won by an extremely comfortable margin. He was so fast in the race, hence why he's got the name Golden Fast. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat him at all this season, but hey, if he's extremely quicker than myself, I have a benchmark to get to. So yeah, that's how my first ever league race went. This is how it all panned out. So it's lots of damage. Definitely need to be a little bit more patient when battling cars. I was very patient in my fight with Hayden, but I knew I wasn't fighting him. But for example, like taking on Justice Lime, I just need to be a little bit patient, just calm myself down a little bit, and prep myself up, and just brake a little bit early. Obviously, if they go for the lunge, obviously I had the fresh tyres, so I would have been able to go through. Yeah, I just got to be a little bit more patient, and we should be fine. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season. It should be a lot of fun, as you can see the race results there. With everything done there. And obviously, I'm going to now be showing you the standings for SBRL. So here they are on your screens right now. This is how the race results or the standings look. So obviously, as you can see, they're all the same. They're obviously as they were from obviously where we finished. But guys, that is going to be it for race 1 of SBRL. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. And I will see you guys next week when I'll be uploading my perspective of race 2, which is at Abu Dhabi. So until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care all. Peace.